Thank you, staff. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us here today at OPP General Headquarters for this important announcement about two significant investigations. Today, you will hear about some incredible investigative work by the OPP in collaboration with partners at the Hamilton Police Service and the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. The success of these complex, multi-jurisdictional investigations is a direct result of our well-established partnerships and the relentless commitment of our skilled investigators, analysts, and civilian staff. Although the two investigations you will hear about today are independent of one another, they both resulted in an alarming seizure of fentanyl and showcase a complex level of drug trafficking. These investigations took place on opposite ends of our province, which demonstrates a province-wide public safety issue. Between the two investigations, there was a staggering 43.5 kilograms of fentanyl seized, which equates to approximately 435,000 potentially lethal street-level doses. To put that in perspective, a population of 435,000 would be the fifth largest urban population centre in the province of Ontario. Drug trafficking networks are knowingly distributing drugs that cause harm and often kill. Between January 2016 and September 2024, there has been more than 50,000 apparent opiate-related deaths in Canada. At this time, there is no indication that the fentanyl seized through these investigations was destined for exportation to the United States or any other country. Shortly, you will hear from OPP Acting Detective Superintendent Andy Bradford, who will go into further details. But before he does, I would like to highlight the unprecedented successes of each investigation. Project Bionic has exposed an alarming volume of dangerous drugs being sold through the dark web marketplaces, with packages shipped across the country. This investigation into the use of the dark web for drug trafficking is a first of its kind for the OPP. In Project Golden, the OPP and our partners, Hamilton Police Service and the RCMP, seized approximately 38 kilograms of fentanyl, the OPP's largest fentanyl seizure to date. One of the accused in Project Golden is currently on federal parole for prior conviction of trafficking fentanyl. Many of the accused in Project Golden are prohibited from owning firearms and have prior criminal records, including firearms offenses, violence, and previous trafficking convictions. As the Commissioner of the OPP, I'm here to assert our commitment to removing fentanyl and other illicit drugs from the communities we so proudly serve. Protecting Ontario from the criminals trafficking illicit drugs remains a top priority for the OPP and our policing partners. We will remain vigilant as these criminal networks constantly evolve. Law enforcement must follow suit in order to identify, disrupt, and dismantle these networks. We are committed to taking decisive action against those who endanger lives in our communities. We will continue to work closely with our judicial partners to ensure that offenders face the consequences of their actions, consequences that deter and prevent further harm from repeat offenders. I would like to commend the members involved in these investigations. Your commitment to investigative excellence is a testament to your dedication to keeping our province as safe and secure as possible. Once again, I'm grateful to our policing partners throughout the province and across the country, in particular the Hamilton Police Service and the RCMP, for their continued collaboration and support of public safety. I now welcome OPP Acting Detective Superintendent Andy Bradford to provide specific details of Project Bionic and Project Golden. Thank you. Merci. Miigwech.
Thank you, Commissioner. I will speak to both investigations separately to clearly present the details and highlight the importance of each one. To start, Project Bionic was a unique 5-month investigation aimed at dismantling an operation using a dark web marketplace to ship a high volume of drugs across Canada. Project Bionic began in November 2024 and was led by the OPP, Organized Crime Enforcement Bureau, and the Covert Internet Intelligence Unit. The investigation revealed that orders would be placed through the dark web marketplace, then packaged and shipped to locations across Canada using various courier services and Canada Post. On March 10, 2025, members from the Organized Crime Enforcement Bureau arrested 2 individuals at a postal service location in Ottawa, where 86 packages were seized containing various illicit drugs ready to be shipped across the country. Later that day, 4 search warrants were executed at 3 residences and 1 vehicle in the towns of Gloucester and Nepean. These warrants were executed by members from the OPP Organized Crime Enforcement Bureau, the OPP Provincial Auto Theft and Towing Team, East Region OPP Community Street Crime Units, the OPP Provincial Asset Forfeiture Unit, OPP Digital Forensics, and the OPP Cybercrime Investigations Team. These warrants resulted in the seizure of a handgun, extended magazine and ammunition, approximately $95,000 in Canadian currency, electronic devices, a stolen 2018 Ferrari 488 Spider, which you see here today, fraudulent license plates, reprogrammable key fobs, as well as a diagnostic and programmer tool, which is a device that can be used to steal vehicles. A subsequent search warrant on March 27th resulted in the recovery of 11 additional stolen vehicles from a location on the outskirts of Ottawa. It is important to recognize the linkage between drug trafficking and other criminal activities, including auto theft. Those engaged in criminal activity rarely confine themselves to a single crime. As a result of our dedicated investigative team, illicit drugs and prescription medications valued at more than $2.5 million have been prevented from reaching our communities, including 5.5 kilograms of fentanyl, 7.6 kilograms of methamphetamine, 3.7 kilograms of MDMA powder, 2 kilograms of heroin, 1.8 kilograms of cocaine, 1.4 kilograms of ketamine, nearly 50,000 hydromorphone tablets, and more than 13,000 tablets of other prescription medications. As a result of this investigation, 4 people have been arrested and charged with a total of 85 offenses. For additional information about the items seized, photos, and details on the accused, please refer to the media release and media kit for Project Bionic. I will now provide details on Project Golden. This intelligence-led investigation was initiated by the OPP Organized Crime Enforcement Bureau in July of 2024 in collaboration with the Norfolk County OPP Community Street Crime Unit to investigate drug trafficking activity in southwestern Ontario communities. Information obtained by the investigative team revealed the involvement of high-level suppliers of fentanyl and other drugs. As the scope of the investigation became multi-jurisdictional, the responsibility for Project Golden was assumed by the OPP Organized Crime Enforcement Bureau, with assistance from the OPP-led Provincial Guns and Gangs Enforcement Team, the Provincial Asset Forfeiture Unit, and the Hamilton Police Service, with support from the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. On May 28, 2025, 16 search warrants were executed on residences and businesses in Oxford County, Norfolk County, Hamilton, Mississauga, York Region, Burlington, and Toronto, as well as 8 search warrants on vehicles by members from the OPP Organized Crime Enforcement Bureau, Provincial Guns and Gangs Enforcement Team, Provincial Weapons Enforcement Unit, Tactics and Rescue Unit, Emergency Response Team, West Region OPP Community Street Crime Units, Hamilton Police Service, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, Toronto Police Service Emergency Task Force, Peel Regional Police Tactical and Rescue Unit, and Halton Regional Police Tactical Rescue Unit. We seized a total of 38 kilograms of fentanyl, 19.5 kilograms of methamphetamine, 5.5 kilograms of cocaine, 3 firearms, and more than $121,000 in Canadian currency. The estimated street value of the drugs seized is $5.4 million. 15 people were arrested and charged with a total of 140 of offenses. Some of the accused were identified as wholesale suppliers of fentanyl, methamphetamine, and cocaine. The fentanyl seized in Project Golden was enough for approximately 380,000 street-level doses. This is not pure fentanyl. It has been cut with other substances, and our estimated street-level doses reflect that. To ensure health and safety, the exhibit displays to my right do not include actual fentanyl. However, we did want to illustrate what a street-level dose of 0.1 of a gram looks like in comparison to the quantity seized. We have replicated the fentanyl seized in Project Golden to give context to how small one dose is compared to the overall seizure. It is also important to note the variety of colors of fentanyl that are being distributed. For a full list of items seized, photos, and details on the accused, please refer to the media release and media kit for Project Golden. I would now like to welcome Superintendent Marty Schulenberg from the Hamilton Police Service to speak to the impact of Project Golden in Hamilton and the surrounding communities. Thank you.
Thank you, Superintendent. Good morning. My name is Marty Schulenberg. I'm a superintendent with the Hamilton Police Service, and let me begin by, on behalf of Chief Frank Bergen, thanking Commissioner Carrique and the Ontario Provincial Police for hosting this very important public service announcement today. We're here to speak from a Hamilton perspective about Project Golden and how our ongoing work to address the opioid crisis and the violence associated with the illegal drug trade in Hamilton. In January of this year, intelligence sharing between the Hamilton Police Service and the Ontario Provincial Police identified connections to common targets, prompting the launch of a joint investigation. Over the course of Project Golden, we saw a significant seizure, removing a large quantity of fentanyl and other illicit drugs from our streets. In addition to the drugs, 3 firearms were also recovered, 2 of those in Hamilton. Let me be clear. These seizures are not just about numbers. They are about lives, lives saved, families protected, and communities made safer. It is common knowledge that the opioid addiction has had devastating and far-reaching impacts both in Hamilton and across the province. In April of 2023, the City of Hamilton declared a state of emergency in relation to homelessness, opioid addiction, and mental health. That declaration recognized what many of us already knew. The opioid epidemic has touched every corner of our community. Like other cities in the Greater Toronto and Hamilton area, Hamilton has been grappling with the human toll of this crisis. Overdoses, broken families, increased homelessness, and the violent crime that too often accompanies the illicit drug trade. In fact, last year, Hamilton alone saw the highest number of shootings that we have experienced annually, with 60 shootings in one calendar year. Today, you will hear, and you have heard, about the sheer volume of drugs seized in this operation. Fentanyl in quantities that have the potential to claim countless lives if left unchecked. The removal of these drugs from our community represents a positive and critical step forward. Every gram of fentanyl seized is a potential life saved. Every illegal firearm taken off the streets is a step towards reducing violence and fear. We cannot separate the drug trade from gun violence. The two go hand in hand. The firearms recovered in this investigation underscore the reality that there are illicit drugs. Where there are illicit drugs, there is often the threat of violence. Violence that puts our community, our residents, our first responders at risk. To the residents of Hamilton, know that we are committed to not only addressing the symptoms, but also the root causes of the opioid crisis. We are committed to working with health and social service partners and to ensuring that our streets are safer for everyone. We recognize that enforcement is not alone a solution, but it is a critical part of a comprehensive approach. Partnerships like these make a difference as we work together to create safer communities across the province of Ontario. This seizure is a reminder that these efforts are making a difference. And we once again thank the critical partnerships we have with the Ontario Provincial Police and the RCMP in these initiatives. I'll now invite RCMP Assistant Commissioner Matt Peggs to the podium.
All right, good morning, everyone. My name is Assistant Commissioner Matt Peggs, as was said. I am the commanding officer for the Central Region of Federal Policing. So I'd like to start by thanking OPP Commissioner Creek for having me here today and for the ongoing partnership that we share with the Ontario Provincial Police. The collaborative efforts between all law enforcement agencies involved in this investigation was paramount. The significant seizure of fentanyl, weapons, and the proceeds of crime required the cooperation of all involved. The RCMP has positive working relationships with the OPP, the Hamilton Police Service, and other police services across the province of Ontario. This project is only one example of the joint forces operations that we work on together. By working in joint forces operations with partners like the OPP and like Hamilton, we are able to collectively leverage the unique capacities and skills of all agencies and create a whole that is greater than the sum of its parts. I'd like to highlight now the role that the OPP and police services like Hamilton have played over the past several months in assisting the RCMP with further securing our border. This cooperation from all agencies has been critical for the safety of Canadians and for Ontario. Fentanyl and synthetic opioids are a priority for the RCMP. We've implemented a national investigative strategy to target fentanyl importers, distributors, manufacturers, and traffickers. The strategy is designed to disrupt, dismantle, and prosecute criminal networks. I'd like to end by acknowledging the hard work that investigators put into this file. Your timeless dedication and commitment drove this investigation to a successful conclusion. Thank you to our policing partners seated with me and those who have assisted throughout the province. Thank you, merci.